From the Allen Media Worldwide Headquarters Studios, high atop Two Turtle Creek, this is Deconstructing Dallas. Greetings, everyone. It's your co-host, Ryan Trimble, thawing out here in the Worldwide Headquarters Studios, joined today by the frostbitten Shawn Williams. Shawn, good day, sir.
Good day, Ryan Trimble. It is chilly out, and it has been, but I tell you, now that the sun is out, I will take a chilly, sunny day over a rainy, dreary, gray day any day of the week, man. I mean, Indeed. I was getting down, which there is a term for it, SAD, seasonal affective disorder, for those who get blue during times of gray or during the winter, and it had set in, and we were talking about it a lot around here, and so I'm just glad to see the sun out.
I can't take it anymore, Shawn. I can't take the dreary cold. I'm ready for some spring training weather. I'm ready for some baseball to start.
Spring training is in full bloom.
It is in full bloom, sir. So,
well, I'm just glad to have you back because, I looked down and had a text from you this weekend, and you had some car issues, and you weren't at home.
We did, and this is yet another reason to maybe never leave the friendly confines of the great city of Dallas, Shawn. We drove to Houston for a wedding. My college roommate was taking the plunge. He was getting married, finally, the last of the guys to take the plunge, and so we drove down. He's from Houston. He's from League City, of all places, Shawn, and so we drove down. We loaded up the family truckster and headed out to Houston, to H-Town, and I'll tell you, it's always an adventure traveling with a wife who's 5 months pregnant and a 2-year-old.
That sounds like an adventure.
Excuse me, 2.5-year-old. So she corrected me this morning. She's 2.5.
Sounds like an adventure, man.
And it's even more of an adventure when you break down in Huntsville, right across, right next to the prison.
And you were on the way.
We were headed south. That's correct. So we were headed south, below a radiator hose. Luckily, the good part of the adventure was not only were we right next to the prison, but we were also across the street from the great Wiesner Chevrolet of Huntsville. And Shawn, let me tell you about Wiesner Chevrolet, and you're going to laugh because there's always an SMU tie-in. Jon Wiesner, founder and CEO of Wiesner Automotive Group, was a great Mustang, and I was wearing my Mustang gear, and I was wiping all the antifreeze off my hands, and the general manager says, SMU guy, huh? Old man Wiesner was a proud Mustang, and every time I'd walk into his office, he'd have his diploma over his shoulder, and he'd have his Mustang paraphernalia on his desk, so he was a proud Mustang, so you are in good company. And shout out to the folks at Wiesner Chevy. They got us in a loaner, then got our car fixed on Monday, and so we got safely back to the friendly confines.
Well, for sure, shout out to Wiesner for getting you back here, but I'm making a note to check with SMU to make sure we can kind of up our commercial value because we are definitely giving some plugs, our guests, and
that's right.
Every story seems to have this SMU tie, but I'm glad that y'all made it back. I'm glad y'all had a good time, and I was really concerned about the Trimbles.
Yeah, so you've had you've been taking in some theater, sir.
Well, me. I mean, I love to get cultured. We have a lot of great arts facilities and venues in Dallas, and I had a chance recently to catch two shows. One, we saw Anastasia with the Dallas Summer Musicals at the Music Hall at Fair Park, and I have to tell you, I went in with minimal expectation. Not minimal. I wasn't one that I was excited to see. I mean, next month Hamilton will be here, so I've been looking forward to that for like 2 years. But Anastasia is a something that, and I haven't seen the movie. Actually, I've never seen the Disney classic Anastasia, and so we went recently, and man, it blew me away. The set design, the voices, the lead character, and they had a couple of songs. "Stay, I Pray You" is a song that just will not stop. It's been over and over, going over and over in my head ever since we went, and so that was great. And then got tickets to the Dallas Opera as well, and we got to go see Manon Lescaut, or Lescaut, I think, because it's a French pronunciation. But it was totally in Italian. It was my first time at the opera. I love the Windspear Opera House, and I recently had been saying I wanted to take Malia there. So Malia and I went to the production, and shout out to Kristen Lewis, who plays the title role, African-American female soprano, who just was wonderful in this role. You can follow her on Instagram at Kristen, Kristin Lewis, Lewis _soprano. She was outstanding in this role. But two things about this opera. Number one, it was good, but there were a couple of hiccups that if you read the Dallas Morning News review of this show, it does a really, really good job of showing where some of the shortcomings are. But the voice talent was amazing. I did not read in the fine print that this was PG-13. This was a PG-13 production. So as Malia and I, as 9-year-old, almost 10-year-old Malia and I went in to enjoy our first experience of the opera, there was a point when it did get PG-13, and so I was not prepared for that.
You were providing the parental guidance, the PG part.
I was, yes.
Just didn't quite get to the 13 part.
Yes, the parental guidance was, we're going to not watch this particular part. But it was great, a really good show. I'm glad for the opportunity. Love the wind spirit. The acoustics are amazing, and as far as I could tell, which I think is why opera houses are made the way that they are, there were no microphones. There was no amplification of sound. It was just voices. It was instruments. There was a full chorus in the back. So anyone who can make it out, I think it would be great to check this show out at the Windspear Opera House, and I think it'll be here probably through this week.
This is what we bring. We bring cultured Shawn and auto mechanic Ryan. I mean, really, we've got it all here on Deconstructing Dallas.
That's why we're a good team, man.
That's right.
Speaking of SMU Mustangs.
Yes,
we are going to be visiting today with former SMU basketball standout and current DART board member, Jon Killen.
That's right. Jon averaged 12 points a game his senior year at SMU, and it's silly that I know that, but
of course you know that. I mean, I know that. How's that a surprise to anyone?
Yeah, but really excited to jump into our interview with Jon. He's a good guy, and he and some of his fellow board members, they're doing big things and really trying to lead that organization into the future. So I'm excited to jump in.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get to this commercial break really quick, and then we will be right back talking with Jon Killen. This is Deconstructing Dallas. Shawn Williams, Ryan Trimble. We'll be right back.
You know what they say, variety is the spice of life. And if you're looking for spicy, look no further than Effin' Hot Salsas. Hey friends, it's your old pal RT here, and take it from me. If you're looking for the best variety of salsas, jellies, and other fiery concoctions, look no further than Effin' Hot Salsa. Effin' Hot is created with the finest peppers and hand-selected ingredients. And what's even better, Effin' Hot is based right here in Dallas. And if my recommendation isn't enough, get this. Effin' Hot donates 5% of their annual profits to the Special Operations Warrior Foundation. So what are you waiting for? Get to the store and pick up your own jar of Effin' Hot Salsa today. It'll make you say, "That's effin' hot."
Back, Deconstructing Dallas, Ryan Trimble, Shawn Williams. Shawn, exciting day today. We have a great guest in studio with us. He is a DART board member, but more importantly, the 2007-2008 All-Conference USA third team member. He is Jon Killen. Jon, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks you guys for having me here.
Yeah, anytime there's a SMU Mustang, which this is like at least our third SMU.
We've had a good run.
Person, second
Richie,
of the year.
Yeah.
Suzanne was did a show on SMU.
Yeah.
Suzanne Massey. So he has an extra pep in his step for these episodes. So thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, so Jon, tell us how you got involved in DART. Tell us about what you've done on the DART board, how long you've been on the board, and how you got to Dallas.
Yeah, sure. So I got involved with DART really because I just had a desire to get involved with the city. I grew up in Arlington, Texas, and ended up going to SMU, so that's how I made my way across 360 over to the Dallas County side of the Metroplex. And decided really to kind of make a home in Dallas. I met my wife at SMU, and we settled here in Dallas. I've been here about 14 years now. And because we really wanted to get involved and find ways to serve, I first started serving on the library board with the city of Dallas.
There you go.
And was tapped on the shoulder because I did such a phenomenal job. Really just staying involved with the library, asking questions and doing a lot of research. But I was asked if I consider serving with DART. And, of course, growing up in Arlington, a place that does not have public transit other than the school buses, I didn't have, like, a great wealth of knowledge on, how that might work. But kind of rolled up my sleeves and did a lot of reading and researching and have been serving for going on 2 years now.
So you mentioned the library board. You have now made it to the big times on the DART board. But, like, for folks who are interested in serving like yourself, is it hard? Because a lot of people that I talk to, they say, nobody knows me. Nobody would ever, pick me to be on a board. But yet, there are so many different boards and commissions within the city of Dallas. Ryan and I obviously both live in Dallas. So just talk to people maybe, or what would you say even to people who are interested in serving but don't think that there's a place for them?
Yeah, so before I actually started serving on the library board, I was, introduced to the idea of different boards and commissions through the Mayor Star Council, which is a young professional group for people who are want to be civically engaged. And that's where I first heard about the idea. Before that, I thought if you did work with the city, that meant that you were either a council person or you literally worked for the city at the library, and not that there were opportunities for people that had other professions that also just wanted to serve in some way and volunteer and give back. And so when I heard about the different boards and commissions opportunities, the way it was explained to me was that, our city council people have a lot of appointments they need to make. And so they're looking for people who are willing to give of their time in an area of interest or just an area that they know the city needs help. And so I looked on the website. I just went and looked at different vacancies or different boards that existed and saw that the library happened to be open. So I cold called my councilman and talked to his secretary. I was like, hey, what do I need to do? I want to serve. Library seems cool. Take my son there a couple times a week and love to give back. And so really, you just need to kind of reach out. I think you try to find where there might be a good fit, whether it's an area of interest, something that can work with your work schedule, because boards might meet at different times of the day, and that you're just willing to commit to do the work, which is doing a lot of reading, the packets, and volunteering, maybe at different events and that sort of thing. But there's certainly a space for anyone that wants to engage with the city on a board and commission level. I can tell you right now, you go to the website, you'll see some vacancies where we could certainly use the help.
That's cool. And then you said you really dug in when you first said, decided to join the DART board or try to get appointed to the DART board. Tell us a little bit more about DART. 15 cities. It's an interesting board because it's multiple cities, not just the city of Dallas.
Right, yeah. So DART is our regional transit agency. It's covering just a huge geographic area, 15 member cities. It was created 35 years ago. So before DART, there was Dallas's public transit, DTS, and then there were also some buses, I think, in Garland that were running. But DART was created as a regional agency with the idea that we could create an expansive rail operation as well as our buses and paratransit that would eventually kind of come along. And so we've been up and running for 35 years. We built out the longest light rail system in the country at 93 miles. We got some more coming with the Cotton Belt, which is going to run kind of on the north side from Plano through Addison, Carrollton, and eventually to the airport, which would be our second way of getting to the airport. And then we have hundreds of buses that are running throughout the city every day, getting people to work, getting people to the doctor, and all the entertainment options, and anywhere else people want to go in the Metroplex.
You mentioned some aspects of DART that I would like to talk about here in a little bit, especially with buses and Cotton Belt coming up. But I know that you all have an opportunity to take a look at other transit systems throughout the country. I know you have an opportunity